What's up, good people? I'm Zay, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, I want to talk about the stocks that we have in our long-term portfolio. I've been getting a lot of questions about what stocks do I buy? How do I know what should I be looking into? And so today I want to share with you the five stocks, or the top five stocks we actually have in our long-term portfolio. Now, before we jump into the video, I do want to put a disclaimer out there that it is always best to check with a financial advisor or financial consultant before investing in anything. You always want to do your due diligence because I am not a certified financial advisor, and so therefore I technically cannot give out any investing advice. But I can definitely share what I'm doing, and that's what I plan to do. So if you're interested in learning what we're buying and holding for the long term, definitely stick around. And before we jump into it, make sure you press that like button and subscribe as well. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. Oh, I left out one quick thing. Additionally, when you are investing for the long term, it is best that you look into the company's financials, make sure that the business is sound, that they are generating some type of profit or have a roadmap to generating profit. But for me personally, when I'm looking at long-term buy and holds, I really like to think about a couple of things that are outside of financial, such as like the brand, the leadership team, what type of competitive advantages that the business has that I think they can sustain for the long run. So in this video, you'll hear a lot more about just the brand and their competitive advantages versus their balance sheet, because I know a lot of people, when they hear like what are you buying, they're not necessarily too tied to the numbers. A lot of people are more loyal, brand loyal, and things like that. So I just want to get that disclaimer that we won't get into too much of the financials, but I definitely think you should be doing that type of due diligence. Now, with that said, the very first holding, or the top holding in our portfolio, of course, is Boeing. I've been talking about Boeing since March to you guys. We bought some back in March when it was under the $100 mark. And again, like I said, long-term wise and fundamentally wise, I think Boeing is just a company that, like I said before, is too big to fail. Not only are they the aerospace giant, they also have defense and space contracts with the government. They produce a ton of equipment for the military, and so not only are they supplying airplanes for the airline industry, but they have a ton of other lines of businesses that bring in income for them that ultimately will keep this business going. Competitive advantage wise, they are competing against the likes of when it comes to aerospace, Airbus, and then when it comes to just government contracting, somebody like a Lockheed Martin. So they do have some tough competition, but I really like what Boeing is doing, especially the fact that they didn't take the government bailout. They kind of raised some debt. So I think the business is definitely positioned to come out of this recession, or whatever you want to call it, on a better side. And I do think Boeing will fully recover. They will eventually fix all the problems that they have. And when I'm thinking 10 years from now, do I believe Boeing could go back to a $400 stock or beyond? I certainly do. And so that's why Boeing is one of those companies that we have in our portfolio and will continue to add to our portfolio. And so the number 2 holding in our portfolio, and this is actually a new ad, is Tesla. So I'm kind of kicking myself because I missed the Tesla ride long ago. Should have gotten in on this thing when it was $200-300, and it just has been continuously going up and going up and going up. But that's not the reason why we bought into Tesla. The reason we added Tesla to our portfolios for a couple reasons. Number one, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a guy that I don't think you want to bet against, and for that reason alone, I'm going to ride it out with him. I see Elon Musk as being the Bill Gates or the Warren Buffett of our generation. Like, this guy's just so smart. He's going to figure it out, and Tesla is definitely the future of EV vehicles. That's electric vehicles. Not only are they the future of EV vehicles, but their technology is just hands down amazing. They are the leader when it comes to autonomous vehicles, and I think they'll be the first to actually produce a fully autonomous vehicle where you don't need a driver to actually drive the vehicle. Not only that, I mean, Elon Musk, they are working on, I believe it's the 1 million mile battery. They also are working on like solar panels. So they have a lot of things up their sleeve, not to mention the Cybertruck. Now he wants to get into like the 18-wheeler type of trucks. So Elon Musk is doing the damn thing, man, and Tesla has just been crushing it. They killed their deliveries by like 20,000 or something like that. And so Tesla is just on its way to the moon. Not only that, if they produce earnings this next quarter, they will have cleared the last hurdle it needs in order to get into the S&P 500 index. And if that happens, I personally believe that Tesla could see $2,000 per share. And I don't want to miss that. And so, yeah, we definitely said, you know what, it's time to add Tesla to our portfolio. And again, it's a long-term hold. So I believe in 10 years when we are fully EV, Tesla will be like the Mercedes of what we have today. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going to be transitioning, and Tesla's just, head and shoulders above the rest of the field. And then with this pandemic, it's really giving them a competitive advantage, being an early adopter of autonomous technology and stuff like that. So the number 2 holding in our portfolio is Tesla. So the third holding in our portfolio is sort of a recent addition, but we've been adding to it for a little while, is Square. Now, with everything going contactless, contactless payments, Square is definitely positioned themselves to compete with the likes of a Visa and MasterCard, and it's trading for a fraction of what Visa or MasterCard costs. Not only that, you have to think about when it comes to Square, that app, Cash App, it's setting itself up to be a one-stop shop. You can send money to your friends. You now can invest. Not only can you invest, you can buy fractional shares. I read an article that they are looking into possibly adding direct deposits to the app. So once Square gets all of this stuff together, and I want to say they're even looking at applying for a banking license if they already haven't. Like I said, that's going to set Square up to be a one-stop shop as far as finances go. I mean, can you imagine being able to send money to your friends, invest, get your check, deposit it right into it? They already offer debit cards that you can use and link to your Cash App account. And then when you think about the younger generation, us millennials, we love Cash App and these type of Venmos and things like that. So, not only does Square have that type of competitive advantage, and they're also probably the number 1 payment processor for small businesses because it's so easy to use. Then you have a great CEO in Jack Dorsey. Not only is he the CEO of Square, but he's also the CEO of Twitter. And again, Jack Dorsey is one of those guys that I just don't want to bet against. He is the future, along with other guys like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. Like, these are the young leaders of our generation that are eventually going to lead us into the future. He's such a smart, bright guy that I believe, he knows what he's doing when it comes to Square. And I think that he's going to, take Square to the next level. And eventually they will, like I said, they'll be competing to take some of Visa's and MasterCard's market share. And when that happens, Square is just going to go through the roof. I mean, it already has. Back in March, it was like $35 to $40. Now it's trading at $110, $120, I believe. So it's already tripled since the crash. And so, to think 10 years from now, could it not triple again? I'd be betting that it probably can, especially with what they have planned. And so, like I said, with businesses going contactless and not really wanting to deal with cash anymore, again, Square is one of those companies that will be widely adopted, and they will take over a lot of market share, and they have some great competitive advantages. So with that being said, the number 3 holding in our portfolio is Square. The number 4 holding in our portfolio, of course, is Uber. Again, Uber is another company that I believe I've talked about before in some of my previous videos. And with Uber, I just think Uber is the future of ride sharing. Not only that, they've made huge investments into autonomous vehicles, and to me, that will give them the competitive advantage when eventually we won't need drivers anymore. They'll be able to reduce their workforce because they won't need drivers, and they'll be able to use the autonomous vehicles. Now, how comfortable are people using those? That'll be a different story. Not only that, they are entering the freight business. They've already have bought out Postmates when it comes to the grocery delivery, so they're trying to expand that part of the business. They're also sitting on about $2 billion in cash, and so Uber is definitely well positioned to do some great things in the future. I think, again, once all of this crazy stuff is done and over with, I think Uber's ride sharing business will pick back up on top of the grocery deliveries. That will put them in a great position. The new CEO, Dara, cannot pronounce his last name, but he's definitely there, trying to change the culture. And I like the things that they're doing at Uber. They took some reputation hits early on, but they have been constantly working to improve and get better. And so, again, I just personally love the company. I used to drive for Uber, and understanding the things that they're working on, I believe that Uber is one of those companies that if you buy now, in 10 years you will definitely be glad you did, especially once they start turning a profit. Once they start turning a profit, Uber is probably going to go through the roof. So with that being said, Uber is the fourth holding or top holding in our portfolio. And to round out our top 5 holdings in our portfolio, the number 5 company or stock that we have is Facebook. Of course, you gotta have some Facebook in your portfolio. You don't have to. Remember, I am not a personal financial advisor, but the reason why I say Facebook is needed in your portfolio while we have it in our portfolio, again, it goes to what we talked about. Number 1, the CEO, Mark Zuckerberg. Dude's so smart. Now, of course, he definitely has some attitude or personality problems. He doesn't get along with everybody, but from a business standpoint, he has been killing Facebook. As far as this kid started it when he was 19, and now he's grown it to 2 billion users. It's the largest social media platform out there. It is the engine to most small businesses when it comes to marketing and generating business, because of the ability to run ads and get access to so many people that I don't believe Facebook will ever truly be shut down. I know there's the big push by these bigger companies to stop using Facebook for the ads until they clean it up, and eventually they will. Trust me. I think Mark Zuckerberg is a smart guy. He's going to figure out a way to clean it up so he can get that ad money back. However, a lot of analysts have talked about it. Even though these big companies are taking away their ad revenue money, so many small businesses use Facebook to generate business that it really hasn't had a major impact on their bottom line, except for their reputation. And that's why he's going to have to clean that up, because they cannot continue to taking these reputation hits, especially after the whole data scandal and just everything going on. However, let's not deviate into that too much. Let's talk about the things that Facebook's actually doing. So they recently launched the Facebook Shops, which is a storefront for small businesses. At a time like this, where everybody is having to go to online and figure out some type of online strategy, that was clutch. To be able to give small businesses a way to be able to market their business online and still generate income or income for their business, that was an amazing move. Not only that, Mark Zuckerberg is constantly taking out his competition. They bought WhatsApp, they bought Instagram. From what I heard, they are secretly working on something that's going to mimic TikTok. So again, they are just always on the forefront of innovation and doing new things. They're not scared to do new things. And the fact that they have a 2 billion people user base, that right there is their competitive advantage. No one has that type of reach. No company has that type of reach. And so for that fact alone, Facebook will always be one of those top companies that you need to either watch out for or you need to have in your portfolio. So that is the 5th company, or the top holding in our company. The top holding in our portfolio. But I do have some honorable mentions. Now, we recently added 2 new companies that will be building a position in, and hopefully they'll work their way up. But it's Netflix and it's Microsoft. So we recently added Netflix and Microsoft to our portfolio. We think both of those companies are greatly positioned for the future, especially Microsoft. I'm kind of tight. I haven't been buying Microsoft before this point, being that my company, we we live and die by Microsoft Teams and Microsoft products, and so I should have known. However, it's never too late. Again, we're thinking long term, 10 years from now. Microsoft is one of those companies that has been very vital to getting us through this pandemic, and so we decided to add that to our portfolio. Now that's just an honorable mention. We have a very small position in them right now, but I wanted to mention that. So guys, we are at the end. I hope you enjoyed learning about the 5 companies, or the top 5 companies we have in our portfolio, and why. Again, this is educational and informational only. I'm not telling you to run out and buy any of these stocks right now. Definitely do your due diligence before, buying anything that I may have mentioned. In the meantime, guys, of course, I need you guys to like and share and subscribe to my channel. And until next week, stay blessed. Peace out.